Today, I'm going to be using a team full of traitors on FIFA. These players were all loved at one club before betraying that club and moving to a rival one. So we're going to go ahead and start with the striker position now. And this guy went ahead and was a part of one of the most controversial transfers of the Premier League era, going from Arsenal to Manchester United, and that's Robin van Persie. This guy was seriously beloved by Arsenal fans, and he was an absolute beast in the Premier League era. However, when he went to Manchester United, it was super controversial. However, we're going to pick up his 89 rated card. We're going to throw him in at the striker spot. And right below him at the center mid spot, we're going to go with probably the most controversial and probably one of the more violent, I guess we can call it, transfers of all time. And that transfer was for Luis Figo, who went from Barcelona to Real Madrid. This guy was absolutely beloved by the Barcelona fans before making his move, and he turned into one of the most hated players ever by Barcelona fans. Whenever these two clubs would meet, people would literally throw so much crap at this guy, from bottles and everything to even a pig head. That makes Luis Figo a prime target for the team, so Figo, welcome to the team. Now at the right mid spot, we're actually going to go ahead and pick up an active player who recently made a huge transfer from one club to another. And that guy is Steven Berghuis, however you want to call it. I can't pronounce names. This guy went from Feyenoord to Ajax, which is a really controversial move to do in the Netherlands. But he actually wasn't the only player to transfer in between these two clubs. The other player who actually did this was Johan Cruyff, who of course is known as an Ajax and Barcelona legend. But at the end of Cruyff's career, he actually went from Ajax to Feyenoord for 1 year. Now, I guess that isn't really considered a huge traitor, but regardless, this guy's pretty much a beast in FIFA, and I needed some good players in this team. Now, I want to add a defender to this team, and we're going to go ahead and select a center back. Now, this guy moved from a pretty good team to a team that ended up being one of the best of all time, and that is Rio Ferdinand. He actually went from Leeds United to Manchester United, which ended up being the better move for him, as Leeds, of course, were relegated, and they weren't able to come back up for a long time. And of course, Rio ended up becoming a part of one of the best Manchester United teams ever. Despite that, both teams were still rivals, and it was seen as a betrayment to Leeds United. On the left side of Rio Ferdinand, though, we're going to go ahead and pick up one of the most controversial transfers of the Premier League era at that same exact time, and that was Ashley Cole, who actually was in contract talks with Chelsea while Jose Mourinho was the manager the first time round. Arsenal fans were really disappointed to hear this, and when Cole eventually did make his move to Chelsea, anytime he had ever returned to the Emirates, playing or not, he has been booed by those Arsenal fans non-stop, making Cole, of course, a prime candidate for the team. Now, I feel like adding another striker, and we're going to go ahead and take the best player in the game, and it's someone you guys have been waiting to see, and that, of course, is R9 Ronaldo. This guy has actually played for 2 sets of rivals, going from Barcelona to Madrid and Inter to AC Milan. Now, he actually didn't directly transfer to the rival club. It was kind of mixed match from Spain to Italy, Spain to Italy. Regardless, though, he played for 2 sets of the biggest rival clubs in history, making him a very controversial player. And I'll do you guys one better than R9. We're going to go ahead and pick a guy who I think has played for almost every club in Europe, and that's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who, of course, as you guys know, has played for a ton of clubs. He's not exactly a loyal guy. But he's gone from Malmo to Ajax to Juventus to Inter to Barcelona to AC Milan to PSG to Manchester United, then to LA Galaxy in America, and back to AC Milan. Seriously though, he is the definition of not being loyal. Alright, so I want to go ahead and add a goalkeeper, and actually going to take someone who is an active player and has recently just won the UEFA Champions League. And that is Thibaut Courtois. This guy is an absolute beast of a goalkeeper, and he pretty much won Real Madrid the UEFA Champions League this year. And for a guy who looks very young, he's actually been playing for a long time. But many forget that he actually used to play for Atletico Madrid before he ended up going to Chelsea. And of course, he did just win the Champions League with Atletico Madrid's rivals Real Madrid, making him a prime target for the team. Now, it actually isn't super controversial. I feel like there's not too much bad blood on this transfer as we've seen with like Luis Figo and stuff like that. Regardless though, jumping from one club to another in the same city is still considered a betrayment in my books. Now, we do need a right back, and I couldn't find any right backs who would really fit it, so we're gonna go ahead and throw a center back in the right back position. And this guy actually is an active player who recently did this move, and it's Leonardo Bonucci, who actually went from Juventus to AC Milan for 1 year before returning. It was a really weird move, honestly, but regardless, it's still a kind of a controversial move going from, you know, one Serie A rival to another. And finally, at the center back spot, this one was a really interesting one, and it really just leaves a bad taste in the rivalry. But first, look at my team name, guys. Sub for a Smook. It's supposed to say Smooch, but I ran out of letters. Alright, at the center back spot, we have, in my opinion, probably one of the biggest betrayments in all of these transfers. Luis Figo is really close to it, but I think this guy might just take the top spot, as it really, you know, it just the rivalry that exists between these two clubs is big, and it's still very huge today. And if you guys know who it is, comment it down below before I reveal it. But this guy is a major icon in FIFA. He's a great, brilliant center back, and it is Sol Campbell, who went from Tottenham to Arsenal. But the big thing about this transfer is Sol Campbell actually left on a free transfer to Arsenal. That makes Sol a perfect candidate for the team. Here's the completed team of traitors. Now, I didn't mention this at the start of the video, but I actually have a list of challenges I need to complete, and if I don't, I'm gonna let a wheel choose a couple players that I need to discard. Now, the 3 challenges we need to complete in one match is to score outside the box with R9 Ronaldo, score a header with Robin van Persie, and then I need to keep a clean sheet in the match. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous for this challenge because this is gonna be kind of tough, but let's see what we can do here. I mean, R9 is already off to a great start. Outside the box! Ooh. That would have been a great start, man. Oh, Robin van Persie! Yes, it's a header! That's one challenge completed. Yes! We're gonna count it. We might have to go to VAR for that, though. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna say it's good. The guy rage quits, we win, clean sheet, everything. If you guys enjoyed this video, you'll definitely like this one on the weakest players in FIFA.